Spiritual warfare is a real thing. Whatever happens in the external world, most of our hurts and the disappointment, the suffering, we as a collective, as a human species, we endure these most difficult, most uh, hostile circumstances within their family unit for the generations after generations. Although we can sort of justify the circumstances because of the karmic obligations, that very well be karmic. It is the lessons that require for you to uh, go down the path of growth and learning lessons and liberating yourself. But at the same time, they are external entities there relying on us to maintain this level of low vibrational existence and stuck and perpetuate the low vibrational circumstances because they are feeding on these collective energies and circumstances. Now, as a parent, anyone can do for your next generation or your offspring is taking the time to heal and liberate and show up your most authentic life. The nurturing of youngsters, the nurturing and the safe space and comfort uh, is what you require, uh, what is your normal responsibility for the youngsters. It is true in your animal kingdom. They are making sure to educate their youngsters, challenging circumstances, nurturing at the same time, like grooming, like sharing meals, like doing the hunting for the offspring, or looking after, making sure, keeping the predators away. This is the natural ecosystem. Mind you, when it comes to our human existence, it is the most neglectful role that we are playing because of the external circumstances. So we're making excuses immediately because we are lacking time. The parents have to go spend the most of their time making these monetary security, but it's never guaranteed. We know that wealthy neighborhoods, even the children, sometimes they are consumed by addiction and all sorts of dysfunctional ways of life, so that it's not making excuses, it's just making observations how our neglect, our lack of understanding of our own self when we are not taking time to heal, even realize your trauma body, the level of trauma that you're carrying on your back, and not being awakened to these circumstances result in extremely disappointing circumstances for the youngsters. Sometimes they spend years and years trying to heal, trying to make sense out of these lives, and spend a lot of their valuable time in despair because of the lack of consistency with this, what is required for human soul to be nurtured and be provided for when they're in their youth. These are circumstances, sort of like a PTSD. The ancestral trauma is there, but the women's health, we are running towards the experts instead of going internal and trying to figure out what is the cause of all these despair and the stress and all the dysfunctional shadow parts of ourselves. Instead of looking internal, we are looking to some sort of specialist that absolutely no idea about your life. They could barely spend a couple minutes with you, have this sort of quick fix to your problems. It is not the answer. That's not how the growth happen. It is really important for the divine feminine or women have to be proactive in order to heal self, and you eventually become healing force for others. Like, I always admire these strong divine feminine qualities. You know, you're healed even being around these people and all the guidance, and without any agendas, and it is a very important role. We politicize them with all sorts of things. We are talking about termination, all of these things, but there are so much grief and resentment, anger, shame, disappointment, guilt is always attached to everything that we are going through. Making a real progress is the only way that human species as a collective able to heal and go towards a different vibrational circumstances in our life. So it is really important for divine feminine to take charge about being proactive about healing mind, body, and spirit, because we already know there are no quick fix that a specialist can help. Although these people go into these professional environment with the best of intention, but the business model tells you otherwise, and making these people some sort of desperate to keep on going, making a monetary level up and maintaining that monetary system as such. This is why we can't rely on. This is not how the normal ecosystem environment work. Because we are really to pay attention to these shadow parts of ourselves, and have the courage to recognize and be awakened to your own toxic trauma body. This is where we lack the courage. This is where we become resentful. This is where we become angry, because we don't want to be triggered because we are such a toxic trauma body. But every time you take a minute to heal yourself and understand the deeper cause of things, you are one step closer to being your authentic self and have a little bit of healing, a little bit of peace, a little bit of joy without being triggered. This is the way of our natural progress and growth, and this is what we are to pay attention. This is what we have to be awakened. This is a great awakening because we recognize our own toxic trauma body, our own ancestral trauma body. Then we recognize and we are taking inventory into these challenging circumstances, and you can find that long-lasting authentic happiness and joy and connection with the young generation. For example, the parents are playing these divisive agents. Even though we're highly programmed, we're highly traumatized, we're highly conditioned, the parents have to be awakened enough to recognize what is their role, what is their part into these um, very hurtful, very disrespectful, very unkind, unloving, unnurturing roles that you play into your family's life. Um, for example, people are going through so much, spending a lot of time accumulating material wealth because you're sort of like trying to hide all the other areas that need to develop and improve, hoping that when you have a lot of resources to your name, maybe that you can leave something behind for your children, or um, uh, create this comfort, but it's really not as planned, because things can change. People coming to your life, people coming to your families, the outsiders, the circumstances always change, but it is a role that the adults, the parents, have to play by uh, giving them nurturing, tough love maybe, but it's still, uh, when you're rejected in such a substantial manner, you're creating such a grief for these children. Maybe they're not children anymore, they're grown up, but there is inevitable hurt that you're leaving behind. Of course, they are encouraging to see that people take time to heal and maybe address some of these causes um, before they exit this life, to make some sort of peace offering, and that shows your level of healing and your maturity, and taking some of the responsibilities for your participation into this destructive path that you took, instead of nurturing your children the best way possible. Maybe in your mind you are, but people have to take some kind of accountability, and not leaving their children completely uh, alone, and having them to deal with these dysfunctional uh, parts and the grief that they have to deal with because of the brokenness. It's really saddened to see, saddened to hear, because we know always there are some of the people are silently suffering, completely alone, completely traumatized, completely ignored and neglect. This is a very sad outcome. It could be avoided, because the unity consciousness always have to happen with your family, your friendships, groups, and this is how we have this strong foundation against anything external. We talk about all these external things and the aliens and whatever the case may be, but we can't even resolve our own problems, which is highly inappropriate for intelligent species, because we neglect these basic fundamentals of life's journey, the natural ecosystem. When you take time to heal and address your personal toxic trauma body, uh, so you're sort of awakened to what is reality, what is the level of toxicity that you have put out, because someone is benefiting from that very low vibrational unhealed trauma body. That isn't you, that isn't your family, that isn't your community, but someone, some external factors that is completely unrelatable. They are the one who is benefiting from our misfortune, our inability to recognize our level of toxic trauma body. Um, the meals, making meals, teamwork, household chores. These are all need to be done as a team. One person cannot survive doing these things in a long term. So these are things that we are to do, but while we're doing that, we are making connections, we are learning to trust, we are learning to respect, we are learning love and compassion and forgiveness. These are very, very important factors, and we are to start doing these things in our own families before we have to face anything external, because you really are not strong without your family, your bloodline, your contribution. You're just a broken toxic trauma body. The division when it comes to important decisions in your life, including medical treatments. You cannot be divided. These are very, very important milestones in your life that you require absolutely intelligent decisions, trusting decisions, and our ability to prioritize the best outcome for our mind, body, and spirit. This is why the unity consciousness is extremely important, and awakening to these real factors are a really important thing moving forward. Happy waking up. Thank you.